Today.
Now going over to the political part podcast. Last week you had Chris Christie dropping out. He will no longer be in contention to get the Republican nominee. And of course he uses his final words. I'll never guess what he does to trash down Trump. Because that was basically his whole campaign. Now, he does have a little text before this. Thankfully, it's only a 28-second video. Perhaps of all the times you don't want to see a visual, this would perhaps be the key time, is when Chris Christie is speaking, or attempting to speak. Before the video, Chris Christie says, quote, "I promise you this. I will make sure that in no way do I enable Donald Trump to ever be president of the United States again. That's more important than my own personal ambition," unquote. Right. And this did, as youth might say, go viral. Got over 1 million views on his individual X Twitter account. And those numbers are written. I wrote these numbers. These statistics are written down after 24 hours of posting. So plenty of time for the numbers to expand. Pun moderately intended.
Because I want to promise you this. I'm going to make sure that in no way do I enable Donald Trump to ever be president of the United States again. And that's more important than my own personal ambition.
He's not very good at social media. In theory, you use the text before the video to perhaps give you a hint of what the video is going to be at, or expand upon a point in the video, or highlight a particular part, but he literally he typed out just exactly what he said, which, well, I guess did get 1.1 million views specifically, although interestingly enough, in terms of the like ratio, it got 15,000 likes, which probably most people are liking that because he's dropping out. Now, he does have, I don't know if they're hostages, but there are some people behind him appearing to maybe clap. And maybe that is just everyone clapping because he's done. But I mean, no one looks happy or excited, which I guess if you're a Chris Christie supporter, perhaps you are sad. Although I've never met a Chris Christie supporter. I've met people who legitimately think Biden is a good president. I've met people who legitimately think Trump was a good president. I've never met anyone who really is a fan of Chris Christie. Maybe he's big in New Jersey. Well, big, pun intended. But let me know, have you ever met someone who's a big fan of Chris Christie? Like, they really want him to be president. Let me clarify. Do you know anyone who is more in the middle or Republican who is a fan of Chris Christie? I've never seen them. And on the show, we coined the Chris Christie effect, a social media phenomenon, a mathematical outlier in which on social media, there are some times where he got 0 positive responses, which, again, is nearly impossible because you have to consider, I mean, in theory, he has family, he has friends, allegedly, he had a campaign staff. I don't know if he really did, based on the results and what little they actually did. But allegedly, he had all those things in his life, and yet there's some times where not a single person said anything, gave him any positive accolades or said anything nice in the comments section. But perhaps I'm alone in this assessment a bit. Let's go ahead and go in the comments and see more. Republicans against Trump, which A+ for marketing, you know exactly what they're all about. They responded. They're the top comment. They say, quote, "Thank you for standing up to Trump and MAGA and speaking the truth. Please keep speaking out," unquote. That got 673 likes, which, looking back on all the things Chris Christie has ever done in terms of social media, I'm pretty sure that's the most positive interaction or most liked response ever for his social media. And again, there are people in the Republican Party who disdain Trump, and Chris Christie, basically that was his whole base in terms of who he's appealing to. And not to say I called it, I mean, I certainly was not original in this thought or this conclusion, but there's just not enough of those people to get the Republican nominee. I mean, that's why the people who are winning the Republican nominee are ahead in the polls. They're all either neutral with Trump or they're even agreeing with Trump. I think that's why Vivek has a lot of support, relatively speaking. I think DeSantis, he's becoming more and more critical of Trump, which, and I think that's why his poll numbers have gone down. He started around 30-ish% in January 2023 in the poll aggregator, and now DeSantis is down to around 12%, which, yeah, in terms of business ineptitudes and marketing ineptitudes, he shot himself in the high-heel boot with a .50 caliber, to say the least. Now, again, going back to the comment section, though, started off strong in terms of someone, they did praise Chris Christie. He said, thank you for speaking the truth. I mean, if I wanted to hear someone just critique Donald Trump all the time, I would just listen to CNN or someone politically on the left or in the middle. I mean, Chris, excuse me, Chris Christie did find those people, but it wasn't enough to get a nominee. Obviously, he's never even broke 4% in the poll aggregator. Now, going back to the comments, you have Joe, and she says, "quote I don't believe you, I don't trust you, and I never will." Unquote. They got 443 likes. Let's see here.
Nice meal. Yeah.
Oh, this is perhaps one of the best or most entertaining highlights from the previous debates with Chris Christie and Vivek. Maximus fed up with the U.S. He says, quote, "Vivek had your number. He saw right through you. He left you speechless," unquote. And this gets 878 likes. So, of course, Chris Christie, ratio to say the least, but we'll play this 8-second clip.
So do everybody a favor. Just walk yourself off that stage, enjoy a nice meal, and get the hell out of this place.
I'm suspending this campaign.
So do...
As Ethan might say, I think that one video will also go viral as well. Pissed Off Patriot says, quote, "Well, you didn't poll above 6%, so there's that," unquote, getting 285 likes. Let's see here. RT says, quote, "No one cares, that's why you're gone," unquote, getting 137 likes. Discussion Room says, "I think you overestimating..." Let me go ahead and reset that. Again, I am not a doctor. However, if you click the subscribe button, it very well may assist when I'm speaking ineptitudes, my stuttering, and speaking too fast. I just have a theory. Overall, if you watch the first couple videos and your progression, as you have more subscribers, speaking has gotten a little bit better. Granted, still a lot of room for improvement, but if you click that button, I believe it very well may assist. And I appreciate you doing it as well. Now, going back to the comment from the discussion room, they say, quote, "I think you're overestimating your influence on the GOP. Most people in the GOP don't care what you think, which is why you're dropping out," unquote. I got 647 likes. Bernard Carrick says, quote, "This guy is a sick man," unquote, getting 468 likes, which he probably should have clarified because, physically speaking, Chris Christie, given his health, given his weight, statistically speaking, he does have some health issues, but I wonder if he also means mental as well. Some people might argue that he's Trump derangement syndrome or TDS, perhaps. But nevertheless, go back to the comment section. The Texas one, who does not get an A+ for marketing, they do not have a picture of Texas, a cowboy hat, or a Shiner beer, or anything in their profile picture. It's just a regular hat, and a guy just, I guess he's in the forest or somewhere. So this alleged, the Texas one, says, quote, "You and your 0.0089% of voters won't be noticed," unquote. They got 1,000 likes and appears to be the top response thus far. Rodriguez says, "See you later," and it's an AI-generated image of Chris Christie with his hands full of donuts, and he is walking out of a bakery. The bakery is filled with Chris Christie signage. They got, again, 464 likes. Let's see here. The Detroit Trader says, quote, "Chris, why do you hate Trump so much? Most of America people want Trump as president. You going against him is going against the people," unquote, getting 527 likes. Let's see here. Gretchen Smith says, quote, "Millions of Americans support President Donald Trump. We will work harder than you to get him back in office. You are one man. We are a legion," unquote. That got 254 likes. Org Conservative American says, quote, good riddance to bad rubbish," unquote, getting 487 likes. A lot of AI-generated images of Chris Christie. I don't know if this is the, per scale or one-to-one scale, but as a very large man running after a KFC chicken. But looks like those are getting about 400 views or 400 likes. Let's see here. Do one or two more here. Jones says, quote, "We explicitly warned you that you would never hold the position of president. I sincerely hope that the illicit payments you accepted in order to criticize Trump were truly worth it, because your character is utterly despicable," unquote. They got 212 likes. We'll do... Page says, quote, "You should endorse Biden. You already disqualified your former opponents in your speech. It's going to take all of us to get rid of Trump and Trumpism in this country. Walk the talk," unquote. That did get 476 likes. So it does look like there are a couple positive ones, though, in terms of the vast quantity. They're just all negative. A lot of parody pictures using AI. So it'll be interesting to see where these votes go in terms of for the Republican nominee, and again, today's a big day, again, Iowa caucuses, we'll see how that hammers out. But in terms of the poll aggregators, are the people going to start moving their votes? Because again, those people who are supporting Chris Christie, they're going to go somewhere. I would guess they're probably going to go over to DeSantis, as DeSantis has been increasing his critique of Trump. And same with Nikki. The only candidate that really isn't ratcheting up their critique of Trump is Vivek Ramaswamy. So I think those most likely where those votes will be going. And they'll let me know in the comments. Be fascinated to hear, as always, what you have to say. Thank you everyone for taking the time to tune in. Again, trying to get to 4,000 subscribers by the end of January. So click that button. I greatly appreciate it. Also, leaving a comment is a great way to give me some additional feedback. Let me know how I can make the show better and better. Also, a thumbs up. Great way to help with the YouTube algorithm. Get sure the video gets shared more and more. Lastly, don't forget to take time to tell your family, tell your friends, tell your coworkers, heck, tell your enemies, tell anyone and everyone. Just stay safe. Fight the good fight.